Is it worth risking everything for love, even if it means getting caught in a web of danger and deceit? The crimson dusk spilled over the cobblestone streets of Palermo, shadows lengthening beneath the deep orange glow of antique street lamps. Elena Rossi moved like a ghost through the crowded piazza, her heart pounding against the weight of her desperate plan. Around her, the murmurs of the wealthy mingled with the sharp clack of heels on stone, the occasional rattle of Vespa engines cutting through the languid evening air. She kept her gaze low, fingers brushing nervously over the chic leather handbag dangling from her wrist, a stolen treasure, a grenade of risk wrapped in luxury. Every nerve screamed caution, yet every stolen glance reminded her of the inescapable cage closing in around her. The crowd thickened, laughter, clinking glasses from nearby cafes, the fragrance of jasmine and tobacco swirling in the humid night. Suddenly, the grip on her arm was like thunder, harsh and unyielding. "Furto! Ladra!" a sharp voice barked. Faces around her snapped in expectation, eyes burning like coals in the dark. The world seemed to tilt as accusations flew, her desperate act frozen under the harsh spotlight of collective condemnation. Elena's green eyes flashed with a fierce defiance, but the shame came swift and ruthless, a knife twisting in the gut as she was pulled from the crowd and thrust into the merciless glare of those who judged her most harshly. The murmurs sharpened into stings, whispers of disgrace, assumptions drawn from her auburn hair to the chic yet tattered modernity of her outfit. Her breath hitched, chest tightening, as the richly dressed women recoiled, their jewels flickering beneath the glow like cold stars, indifferent to her plight. A crimson scarf fluttered as she stumbled, catching in a gust of wind, a signal, a texture woven tightly with loss. From the shadows, the crumbling hotel overlooking the piazza stood tall but tired, its faded grandeur an unspoken witness to the night's drama. Its cracked windows mirrored Elena's own fractured resolve, a reminder of dreams deteriorated by circumstance and silence. The crowd's eyes were harsh drums on her skin. Elena felt the weight of their verdicta sentence heavier than any prison. Her voice emerged, broken yet sharp, "It's not what you think." But no ears bent toward the fragile truth, only haughty laughter and the clatter of retreating heels answered. The auctioneer's hammer pound echoed distantly, a cruel rhythmic heartbeat underscoring her isolation. Her hand instinctively reached for the delicate necklace around her neck, its shimmering pendant catching the fading light, a lone glimmer of hope tangled with hidden stories and unseen destinies. As guards closed in, the echo of her shattered defiance faded into the night, leaving her framed beneath the oppressive twilight, caught between the stark crimson of accusation and the obsidian depth of her dreams. A slow, lingering shot traced the trembling necklace, its delicate chain a fragile lifeline amidst the chaos, a symbol of a destiny yet unwritten. And as the crowd's murmurs swelled, Elena's eyes locked with the cold gaze of Luca Moretti from the shadows, the dangerous figure whose interests threaded through her fractured world, a silent challenge, a promise of peril, and perhaps, of passion. The night swallowed her name, the camera pulling away, leaving only the necklace's faint glimmer suspended in the obsidian Ira beacon, unwavering in the storm. Elena stood outside the marketplace, her breath shallow, the heat of humiliation still burning behind her eyes. The weight of every gaze lingered like a suffocating shroud, whispers curling in the sultry evening air, tasting of silk and menace. Her auburn hair, usually tamed beneath polished confidence, now fell wildly over her shoulders, a flickering flame against the obsidian night. The crimson glow of the fading sun cast long shadows across the crumbling villa nearby, a ruin she could see from the market's edge, its neglected facade murmuring stories of forgotten grandeur and fractured dreams. Its broken windows glimmered like empty eyes staring into the abyss of lost hope, mirroring the hollow ache settling deep within her. Her fingers brushed absently against the delicate necklace around her neck, its fine chain cool and unforgiving against warm skin. The pendant's engine, tiny, intricate locket, seemed to pulse with an unseen heartbeat, stirring a dull thrum of destiny intertwined with peril. Her heart clenched as liable doubts surged. Was she doomed to be shackled by the unyielding chains of her heritage? Could she ever breathe freely beyond the looming shadow of Luca Moretti and a bloodline stained with ruthless power? The marketplace buzz faded into a hypnotic hum, the chattering voices distilling into a distant echo. Her sharp green eyes narrowed, signaling a fierce, unspoken rebellion against the cage closing steadily around her, against the unbearable certainty that to escape might cost more than her freedom. In the suffocating silence, a discarded ribbon fluttered on the cracked pavement, tangled in a gust of sultry wind. It twirled precariously, like a whispered invitation or perhaps a warning. Alina's gaze fixed upon it, her breath catching. With a swift, fluid motion, she stooped, snagging the ribbon between thumb and forefinger. The texture was rough yet familiar, embroidered with a pattern she thought she recognized, a symbol buried in her fragmented memories. Could it be a sign? A link to a past she had tried to forget but which inevitably beckoned. The setting sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of blood and gold. Somewhere in the distance, the faint echo of a gunshot fractured the sensual atmosphere, a stark reminder that danger was never far, and that love itself was shadowed by violence. Elena tightened her grip on the ribbon and the pendant, resolve flaring within a fragile spark amidst the encroaching darkness. Her eyes lifted then, meeting the first flicker of evening stars beginning to pierce the violet twilight. The city whispered its secrets through the rustle of leaves and murmurs of passing figures packed with lies and longing. She took a single step forward, the crumbling villa looming like an ancient sentinel beside Herod's secrets waiting to be unearthed, its silent promise thudding in rhythm with her quickening pulse. In that charged stillness, beneath the canopy of shifting shadows and dying light, Alina's fate began to stir irrevocably, a delicate dance between desire and danger, love and legacy. The night swallowed her silhouette whole, but the faint glimmer of her necklace flickered, a beacon against the obsidian veil, a fragile testament to the destiny she was only beginning to face. The humid air hung heavy as Elena wandered through the labyrinthine alleys of the marketplace, the fading light bleeding crimson against cobblestone and cracked plaster. Her bare fingers brushed against the matching auburn flames of her hair, a wild mirage amid the shadows cast by flickering lanterns hung unevenly along crumbling walls. The shame that had clawed at her moments ago twisted now, smoldering beneath the surface like coals hidden beneath ash. In the heart of the market, a sudden gleam caught her eye, a delicate shimmer nestled among the vibrant chaos of fabric stalls and weathered wooden stands. Drawn to it, Alina's gaze fixed on an exquisitely crafted necklace displayed on velvet, its intricate design unlike anything she'd ever seen. The pendant, a subtle swirl of gold encasing a small obsidian stone that absorbed the dim light, promised secrets whispered only to those brave enough to listen. She lifted it cautiously, the chain cool and taut between her fingers, the weight of it heavier than metal seems. As her green eyes traced the fine engravings, a pulse echoed faintly, soft but insistent, like a heartbeat hidden in the silence between breaths. Around her, the marketplace's cacophony blurred into a muted hum. Murmurs of distant arguments, the rustling of silk, the stray bark of a dog chained nearby, all became a backdrop to the delicate moment where past and future merged. The crumbling villa visible on the horizon, silhouetted against the bleeding sun, seemed to watch her silently, its walls whispering of masked histories and shattered dreams. Alina's mind reeled. The necklace was no mere trinket but an emblem of something greater, unseen threads weaving her fate into the dangerous tapestry of the Moretti Empire. Her fingers curled tightly around the chain. The magic of the moment sparked a fire behind her eyes, igniting a fierce determination amidst the shadows. Yet, the weight of inevitability settled around her like smoke. The echo of distant gunshots punctuated the twilight, the sharp crack slicing through the heavy air, a stark reminder of the peril that clung to every breath here. The gun was more than metal. It was a symbol of the looming choices between protection and destruction, love and ruin. Alina's heart hammered as she felt the invisible clasp of destiny tightening. The necklace's shimmer became a beacon, slicing through the crimson gloom, a promise of power, peril, and passion intertwined. A soft gust toyed with her hair, stirring the woven strands like the whispered legacy she could not escape. She lifted the necklace to the dying light, the obsidian stone swallowing the glow, a solid heartbeat in the darkness. Her jaw set, lips pressed thin, and eyes fierce, no longer blinded by shame, but opening steadily into awareness. Somewhere within the battered villa's shadowed walls, hidden truths lay ready to unravel, rewriting the story she thought she knew. The camera lingered, focusing on the necklace's gentle sway, the slow beat of fate's rhythm beginning to echo louder. Elena stepped away from the market's chaos, her silhouette framed against the crumbling horizon, every step a defiant mark toward the unknown, into the beginning of the fight for her freedom, for her love, for her destiny. The night grew darker, but the necklace glinted softly, a quiet vow in the obsidian twilight, heralding the transformation soon to come. The early morning fog clung to the Sicilian coast like a silken veil, wrapping the land in a mysterious embrace, as Elena traced the worn cobblestone alleyways behind the bustling marketplace. Dampness dripped from overgrown vines creeping along the vuota walls of abandoned villas, their decaying grandeur whispering of stories long buried beneath the dust of forgotten time. In her fingers, the delicate necklace lay cool and heavy, a talisman pulsing with unspoken promises. Her heart raced beneath the fitted black leather jacket, every step forward a battle against the heavy weight of her past and the relentless pull of her family's dark legacy. The murmur of distant church bells intertwined with the sibilant rustle of wind through olive trees as she moved deeper into the maze of shadows and faded opulence. Elena paused before a neglected villa, its crumbling archway a gateway to secrets shrouded in time. The fading frescoes echoed the violent beauty of a life she longed to transcend. Her reflection caught in a broken mirror propped against the wall, a fractured yet unyielding visage of striking auburn hair and eyes burning with determination. The metallic glint of the necklace caught the muted light, casting delicate patterns onto the cracked stone beneath her feet. Its silent pulse mirrored the throb of adrenaline that quickened within her chest. She clasped it tightly, its intricate design a reminder of a destiny she could neither deny nor fully understand. Nearby, the faint scrape of footsteps jolted her, and a shadow emerged from the mist, a street vendor, his weathered face offering wary recognition and a whisper of underground knowledge. His eyes flicked toward the necklace, an unspoken question hanging between them. "You seek what many have lost," he murmured, voice hoarse but alive with hidden truths. "But beware. Roots entwined with blood and betrayal do not easily yield. The paths you walk are lined with knives masked as favors." Elena inhaled sharply, feeling the cold spit of sea air mingle with the bitter resolve tightening her jaw. "I will not be swallowed by their lies." The fog thickened as the wind shifted, carrying with it echoes of gunfire far beyond the hills, the distant, ominous reminder of the ruthless forces that clung like shadows to her every move. Her gaze locked once more on the necklace, the gem's obsidian depths holding reflections of danger and hope intertwined. The azure sky above was darkening, the sun reluctantly retreating beyond the crumbling silhouette of the villa, as if the world itself hesitated to witness the inevitable collision of past and present. With measured breath, Elena turned away from the villa, stepping into the gathering dusk with a fierce light igniting in her eyes, a fragile but undeniable flame of defiance. Yet beneath that flicker of courage, a whisper remained, a mounting tension threaded with uncertainty. What price would she pay to reclaim her destiny? And was the cost worth the freedom she so desperately sought? The quiet murmur of the Mediterranean lapping against jagged shores threaded through the cooling Ira rhythm, both eternal and unsettling, as if the sea itself bore witness to a story only just beginning. As Elena disappeared into the labyrinth of ancient streets, the camera held on the necklace's delicate cadence, the beat of a heart poised on the precipice of revelation and ruin. The scene faded on a lingering, breath-held moment, the fragile balance between hope's first steps and the looming storm's dark promise. The Sicilian sun had long surrendered to the oppressive twilight, leaving the streets slick and shimmering beneath a mottled sky heavy with the threat of rain. Elena moved with cautious purpose, the delicate necklace resting against her chest beneath her flimsy blouse, its cold weight a constant reminder of the tangled destiny it carried. Each step echoed the rise and fall of a storm inside Hera, fight between the burning desire for freedom and the inescapable gravity of her bloodline's dark allure. In the labyrinth of narrow alleys, faces she once counted on now flickered with shadows of doubt. The alliances she'd built wavered like fragile glass, their true loyalties veiled behind practiced smiles. Alina's emerald eyes scanned the crowd ceaselessly, searching for the unexpected ally whispered of in clandestine conversations. Every glance was a measured gamble, every word held beneath layers of unspoken threats and concealed agendas. A voice sliced sharp through the muted hum, a familiar one she hadn't expected to see so soon. Luca Moretti, his presence both a tempest and a gasp of heat in the chilling night, stepped from the haze. His gaze, as dark and forbidding as the night itself, locked onto hers. The distance between them crackled. "You tread dangerously, Elena. You think you can wrest control from the shadows without consequence?" His tone was velvet-laced with steel. She lifted her chin, fire licking the edges of her voice. "I am no longer a frightened girl waiting for fate to decide." Luca's gaze softened for a heart-beata flash of something almost tender, but it was swallowed by the brutal calculus of their world. "Careful, girl. The path you choose cuts deep, but sometimes it cuts yourself the deepest." Elena swallowed the bitter truth behind his words, the cold kiss of reality mingling with a fierce determination. Though his world was a cage she longed to escape, part of her yearned to understand its intricate patterns, to find a rhythm she could survive within. Her journey took her to the crumbling villa on the outskirts of Palermo, its once grand facade now a skeletal ruin, its walls whispering secrets of her family's tangled past. The heavy scent of damp stone and forgotten glory mingled with the sharp tang of moss and rusted iron bars. She traced her fingers over the jagged edges of broken pillars, feeling the pulsing history beneath her skin. Inside a hidden chamber, behind a loose stone, she discovered a faded letter, edges burned and words blurred but alive enough to ignite fresh fire. It spoke of a hidden alliance, secret betrayals, and a rival family vying for power, facts omitted from every story she had been told. The weight of revelation pressed down upon her, threatening to crush but also illuminating pathways to reclaim her agency. Her breath caught as the distant sound of footsteps approached, a warning that she was no longer alone in the shadows. Emerging from the darkness, an unexpected figure stepped forward, an enigmatic ally from Luca's inner circle, his eyes betraying conflicted loyalties. "You're stirring more than you can control," he said quietly. "But maybe, just maybe, the old world needs someone like you." Elena's heart pounded, a fragile mix of hope and caution. This was no victory, but a tenuous start, a crossroads where alliances shifted like desert sands, where trust was currency and betrayal commonplace. As night deepened, and the scent of rain hung heavy, Elena clutched the necklace close, its cold pulse a steady heartbeat against the chaos. Somewhere between danger and desire, love and legacy, Elena Rossi was forging a new fate, one born of courage, sacrifice, and the perilous promise of an unseen destiny. The camera pulled back slowly, leaving Elena silhouetted against the crumbling villa, the dangling necklace catching the faint moonlight, the last beacon before the storm that awaited. Night had draped the Sicilian coast in velvet shadows, the crumbling villa standing like a silent guardian to secrets long buried beneath its cracked facade. Elena's breath fogged faintly in the chill air as she stepped barefoot over the uneven stone floor, her fingers gliding along the dust-laden walls adorned with faded frescoes of forgotten glory. The necklace weighed heavy against her collarbone, a talisman pulsing with the heartbeat of a hidden past. The village beyond lay quiet, its alleyways slick with recent rain, the scent of wet earth mingling with the distant salt air. Yet within her chest, a storm regatta, tempest of betrayal and awakening trembling on the cusp of revelation. Days of cautious investigations had shaped her resolve, each brittle alliance forged in shadows carrying the risk of unseen knives. Trust had become a currency far too costly. In the muted light of a dying candle, Elena spread the faded letter she had found concealed within the necklace's clasp. The ink blurred with age, but the words were clear enough to cut. To my blood, the Rossi legacy demands truth and sacrifice, the script declared, unfolding a story tangled with power, loss, and ruthless ambition. It spoke of family rivalries that scarred generations, of debts paid in silence and blood. The necklace she wore was no trinket, it was a symbol of lineage, of a claim as old as the stones beneath her feet. As the words settled, a spine-chilling silence filled the room, broken only by the low murmur of the sea. The door creaked open, and a figure stepped through the threshold. His presence was both a threat and a salve. Luca Moretti, powerful, dangerous, enigmatic. His eyes, dark as obsidian, locked onto Elena's with a mixture of regard and warning. "You tread paths shadowed by ghosts," he said softly, the threat barely veiled. "Every step you take unearths danger, not just for yourself, but for those you love." Elena's gaze hardened. "I am no longer a girl hiding in the ruins of secrets. I seek the truth, no matter the cost." Luca's lips curled into a faint, haunting smile. "Be careful. Some truths bury deeper than graves." The weight of his words hung heavy, a shroud over the fragile flicker of hope ignited within her. The delicate necklace pulsed faintly, a heartbeat entwined with destiny and dread. As Luca's shadow receded, Elena felt the cold realization seep in. Her life was irrevocably tied to a world where love was peril and freedom, a fleeting dream. In that crucible of night, the crumbling villa bore silent witness to her transformation. The necklace gleamed, a fragile promise emerging from the darkness, heralding a journey beyond fear, into the heart of her own tangled legacy. The camera's lens lingered on Elena's resolute face, framed against the villa's wary silhouette, the slow dance of crimson and obsidian colors painting a portrait of strength born from pain. And as the screen faded to black, the faint, steady pulse of the necklace echoed an unseen rhythm, marking the rise of a woman ready to challenge fate's cruel design. The night pressed down upon the crumbling villa like a velvet shroud, suffocating and thick with unspoken menace. Elena sat on the cold stone steps, the delicate necklace heavy against her chest, its hidden past tangled with the shadows enveloping her soul. The obsidian sky above was fractured by flashes of distant lightning, illuminating the villa's cracked facade in stark, haunting relief, a reflection of the fractures spreading through her heart. Her eyes, once fierce with defiance, now glistened wet and vacant, tracing the broken contours of the decaying walls. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and stale jasmine, mingling with the metallic tang of fear lingering just beyond reach. Each breath she drew was shallow, as if sucked from a well running perilously dry. The harsh clang of a distant door echoed through the stillness, a temporal puncture in the suffocating silence. Inside, the weight of unseen threats bore down, each shadow concealing whispers of betrayal and danger. The gun, cold, loaded, and waiting, rested just out of sight, a silent specter promising the unforgiving choice between survival and surrender. Elena's trembling fingers traced absent patterns on the weathered stone, her mind a maze of precarious alliances shattered and secrets revealed. The fragile hope sparked by the necklace now hovered on the edge of obliteration, swallowed by the relentless tide of doubt and despair. Beyond the flickering candlelight, the crumbling villa loomed like a mausoleum of lost dreams, its haunted windows staring emptily into the obsidian night. The world outside had narrowed to this fragment of time, a suspended breath where past and future collided in ruthless suspension. Her chest tightened with the knowledge that everything gained teetered on the brink of ruin. The faces of those once allies dissolved into specters of deceit, their smiles brittle and their promises weightless. Luca Moretti's shadow stretched across the villa like the final stroke of a curse, his presence both a threat and an inescapable destiny. "Elena," whispered a voice so faint it could have been the wind, "the price of truth is pain." Her head bowed, the words winding through her like cold chains, binding hope to despair. The flicker of the necklace caught scant candlelight, its delicate design a cruel reminder of the unforgiving road ahead. Her reflection shimmered in a cracked mirror propped against the wall, fractured and multiplied. 1,000 versions of herself trapped within broken glass, none whole. In the suffocating dark, tears traced silent tracks down her cheeks as the villa exhaled its ancient sorrows. The storm outside intensified, a crescendo of wind and rain drumming against shattered shutters, mirroring the chaos within. Alina's breath hitched, the fragile equilibrium shattered beneath the weight of encroaching shadows. The necklace pulsed faintly, a heartbeat beneath the collapsy whisper of what might yet be. She wrapped trembling arms around herself, the cold stone beneath a testament to solitude, the expansive night swallowing all certainties. And in that heavy, intimate stillness, the precipice of loss and transformation, Elena felt her world unraveling, thread by fragile thread, into the infinite dark. The cold crept beneath the crumbling doorframe, a bitter wind spiraling through the hollowed remains of the villa, extinguishing flames in the hearth long gone cold. Elena crouched low amid the ruins, her silhouette fragile against the oppressive night that swallowed all warmth and light. The obsidian sky stretched infinite and unforgiving, unyielding in its silent judgment. Her breath emerged in fractured clouds, a whisper lost to the vast emptiness. Around her, the villa's ancient stones sagged under centuries of decay, shadows pooling like ink along cracked frescoes and shattered columns. The silent reverberations of past grandeur echoed, mocking the brokenness now reverberating within her. Elena's emerald eyes were dry, vacant pools reflecting the chaos of a world unmoored. The delicate necklace hung loosely against her chest, its pendant a dull gleam, once a vibrant symbol of destiny, now a weight that seemed to sink into the depths of her solitude. Her fingers trembled as they traced its intricate design, searching for meaning in the cold metal. The very emblem that promised hope now felt like a tether to an inevitable fall. Whispers haunted the ruins, voices swallowed by time but alive in memory. A distant gunshot rumbled across the dark hills, a sharp, brutal counterpoint to the fragile silence suffocating her. The ground beneath her was damp, cold moisture seeping through to chill her bones. She pressed her hand into the cracked earth, the rough texture grounding her in a moment suspended between oblivion and endurance. Faint sparks from a dying candle flickered in the near distance, their struggling light a cruel reminder of life fading to darkness. Elena watched without movement, the quiet agony of surrender deepening within. The walls around her seemed to close in, the villa's hollow gaze a mirror of her own fractured self-walls crumbling, dreams shattered, secrets buried beneath layers of dust and blood. Her voice broke the silence, a barely audible tremor. "Is this all there is?" The wind answered only with mournful sighs, chilling her sweep of auburn hair as it fell softly across her face. A single tear slid down her cheek, tracing a path cold and unforgiving, mirroring the slow slide of the pendant's shadow upon the floor, a solitary beacon flickering in the vast obsidian void. The golden gun, once glinting with promise and peril, lay discarded near by, metal cold and silent. A symbol of choices forsaken, battles lost, and the precipice upon which she now balanced. Elena's breath came steady but shallow, the darkness wrapping tighter, suffocating, relentless. In the endless silence, every heartbeat thunderate a cacophony of despair beneath the still surface. The night was complete, the world reduced to shadow and collapse. The camera lingered on the fragile sweep of the necklace, swaying faintly, a delicate pulse in the all-consuming void. Elena closed her eyes, the final veil descending, her soul poised at the edge of surrender, still, silent, and broken. The heavy curtain of night wrapped the villa in silence, the ruptured walls sheltering Elena's solitude as shadows thickened with the weight of unspoken fears. The storm had passed but left behind a bruised sky, its fragmented stars peeking weakly through the lingering mist. Elena sat huddled near a shattered window, the once opulent chamber stripped bare, its faded crimson wallpaper peeling in jagged sheets, echoing the remnants of dreams now scattered like fallen leaves. Her fingers trembled around the thin chain of the necklace, its cool metal a stark contrast to the searing ache within her. She traced its delicate pendant, the obsidian stone pulsing faintly as though alive with secrets she had only begun to comprehend. It called to her, a heartbeat whispering through the darkness. Outside, distant waves crashed with relentless rhythm, mirroring the turmoil that churned beneath her chest. The villa, once magnificent and unyielding, now crumbled slowly into dust, its decaying grandeur a stark reflection of her fractured spirit. Each breath she drew was shallow, filled with the heavy scent of fading roses cast aside beauty overshadowed by neglect and loss. A faint rustle broke the stillness. The soft thump of the pouch sliding free from within the necklace's folds, a hidden letter, fragile and time-worn. She unfolded the brittle parchment with reverent care, the ink smudged around the edges but still legible. Trust no one but blood, the words scrawled in haste haunted her. The message hinted at love buried beneath betrayal, a past stitched with loss and sacrifice. Her eyes drifted unfocused to a faded photograph tucked within the letter, a figure cloaked in mystery, her silhouette etched against the fiery Sicilian sun. It was a whisper from a life she never fully lived, a half-remembered truth beckoning from the shadows. Alina's breath hitched, the room contracting with the weight of revelation and the heavy silence of secrets long kept. Her gaze lifted to the broken mirror across the room, where fractured reflections merged the woman she was becoming interlaced with the girl she desperately wanted to remain hidden. The mirror's shards caught pulses of obsidian and crimson, the colors of rage and blood now fused with a glimmer of defiant grace. A soft crack echoed through the villa, the sound of a gun slid from its hiding placenet as a threat, but a relic of war waged in shadows. Time seemed to fold into itself as Alina's eyes clung to the weapon's cold steel, a symbol of the danger she was yet to face and the courage still dormant within. Her voice whispered, raw and fragile, "This is not the end." Outside, the wind shifted, a solitary swaying branch brushing against the shattered window, a natural shiver carrying promise and peril alike. The night exhaled, and in its breath, a fragile flicker of hope stirred. The necklace's pulse quickened, imperceptible but resolute, a sacred rhythm echoing the heartbeat of new beginnings. Alina rose unsteadily, the letter clutched to her chest as she crossed the threshold of the ruined villa into the uncertain embrace of dawn. The camera lingered, framing her silhouette mapped against the awakening sky, and the quiet surge of life rising from the remnants of ruin. Faint notes of orchestral strings swelled softly in the background. As the screen faded to blacker journey far from over, the horizon wide with fragile possibilities. Dawn's first light seeped softly through the half-open shutters of the villa, casting muted amber hues across the marble floors. Alina stood at the threshold of her room, the air thick with the scent of damp stone and hope, a stark contrast to the darkness she had navigated just hours before. Her reflection caught in the cracked mirror, ghostly and fractured, yet new lines of resolve emerging beneath her emerald eyes. In her hand, the delicate necklace shimmered faintly, a silent heartbeat of her unspoken destiny. The soft glow of dawn danced across its intricate gold, catching flecks of crimson and obsidian, whispering promises of renewal. She slowly uncoiled from the shadows, the weight of her burdens momentarily lifting as she stepped barefoot onto the cool, worn tiles. The villa's walls, once teeming with secrets and despair, now seemed alive with a fragile possibility. Each crack and weakened beam looked less like the remnants of decay and more like the scars of healing, proof that even in ruin, beauty could emerge anew. Alina's breath was steady, the tension in her shoulders unwinding little by little, a silent affirmation that her journey towards herself had begun. She moved toward the window, the rising sun igniting the sky in shades of honey and soft pink. Outside, the Mediterranean breeze caressed the crumbling facade of the villa, stirring the leaves and whispering untold stories across the terraced gardens. Her eyes lingered on the horizon, where the sea shimmered with promise, a vast testament to the uncharted path ahead. In the silence, her fingertips traced the necklace's delicate chain, the cool metal anchoring her to a newfound strength. Each breath, slow and purposeful, wove hope into the fabric of her consciousness. The shadows that had once cloaked her heart began to recede, replaced by a cautious optimism frail but real. A faint smile touched her lips as she turned from the window, her silhouette framed in the golden glow. The journey was far from over. The dangers still lurked in the depths, and the shadows of Luca Moretti's empire cast a long, ominous pall. Yet, within her, a spark had been kindled, a whisper of resilience that refused to be extinguished. With a deliberate movement, Elena lifted the necklace, holding it before her as the first light caressed its surface. The sun's rays caught the glint of gold and spun tiny rainbows onto the walls, a visual metaphor for rebirth amid chaos. Her eyes closed briefly as a gentle gust of wind fluttered her auburn hair, the air thick with both promise and peril. In that fragile moment, she understood the path ahead was still fraught with danger, but her spirit had begun to stir. Hope's delicate thread wove through the shadows, whispering that even in darkness, the potential for renewal shimmered hidden just beneath the surface. A deep breath filled her lungs, and with it, the unspoken vow that she would face each challenge anew, armed with the quiet strength of her true self. The camera lingered, capturing her silhouette against the dawn, a symbol of resilience awakening. The first threads of change had begun, delicate, uncertain, yet irrevocably real. The first light of dawn seeped through the narrow shutters, casting a fragile glow over the villa's once ominous shadows. Elena moved with deliberate purpose, her silhouette emerging from the depths of exhaustion, but her eyes now burned with renewed clarity. She approached the crumbling altar where the necklace had slept, a silent guardian of her rebirth, and gently lifted it, feeling the intricate design beneath her fingertips. The air, still thick with the scent of damp stone and past regrets, began to shift. A single ray of sunlight pierced through the broken window, illuminating the pendant's obsidian core. The dark stone absorbed the dawn's subtle warmth, mirroring her own awakening, an ember flickering into a steady fire. Her fingers lingered on the chain, feeling the delicate pulse heartbeat of something long suppressed but finally reclaiming its voice. The shadows that haunted her now intertwined with the traces of hope, each step toward the altar a declaration of intention and redemption. All around, the villa's decayed walls seemed to breathe anew, their cracks and scars transforming into symbols of resilience. The crumbling grandeur was no longer a monument to lost dreams but a testament to her hard-won strength. Elena's gaze lifted to the horizon, where the first streaks of dawn painted the sky in hues of cinnamon and gold, a promise of a future beyond the darkness. In that soft glow, she felt a hush of serenity and unspoken acknowledgement that her battle with the past was only beginning. Her journey, however arduous, was no longer driven by despair but by a quiet, unwavering resolve. She stepped outside, the cool air invigorating her spirit, as the villa's silhouette receded behind her. The rising sun cast long, gentle shadows, each ray a brushstroke of hope against the tapestry of her story. The necklace swung softly as she moved, a delicate yet resilient link tethered to her awakening. Clarity washed over her, a gentle tide that carried away the weight of secrets and bloodshed. Her heart pounded in rhythm with the dawn, pain, love, and destiny woven into a new melody. Elena's expression softened, a smile breaking through the remnants of fear, illuminating her entire being. In that moment, she understood the past would always be part of her, but it would no longer define her. The horizon stretched infinite, a silent testament to the dawn of her new destiny. With steady steps, Elena walked toward it, the necklace catching the early light, shimmering like a promise kept. The scene lingered, her silhouette against the awakening sky, symbolizing strength reborn from shadows, hope ascending from the ruins, and a future waiting, quietly, patiently. The morning sun spilled molten gold over the Sicilian coastline, casting long shadows across the villa's battered facade, once a symbol of lost grandeur now reborn as a monument to resilience. Elena stood on the threshold, her silhouette outlined against the awakening horizon. Her breath was steady, a quiet testament to a storm weathered and a future reclaimed. The silver necklace, now glinting like a shard of starry night, lay securely against her collarbone, her talisman, her shield, her undeniable proof of transformation. Her eyes, luminous with a mix of serenity and resolve, traced the outline of the land that had once threatened to consume her and was now part of her story. Around her, the villa's crumbling stones caught the first light, revealing the scars of battles fought and won. The echo of gunfire and dark shadows of Luca's threats had finally receded into the distant past, replaced by a peaceful dawn. The air was thick with the scent of salt and new beginnings. Alina's hand rested gently on her chest, feeling the pulse of her own heartbeat steady, unrelenting, alive. Her journey had been laced with peril and sacrifice, yet in this moment, clarity found its voice, an unspoken vow to herself, to the love that had survived the storm, and to the destiny she had fought tirelessly to embrace. The wind brushed softly against her auburn hair, a delicate caress that echoed the tenderness of a love reborn. Her gaze drifted out over the rolling hills, the silhouette of her childhood home visible in the distancia, a reminder that her roots ran deep, anchoring her amidst the chaos. A faint, knowing smile curved her lips as she stepped forward into the luminous morning. Each step was a declaration of victory over fear, a silence broken by the rhythmic beating of her spirit. The shadows of darkness, Luca's threats, her doubts, her pace remained behind her, their grip loosened by the power of her newfound strength. The scene lingered on her figure, small yet monumental, poised at the threshold of a new chapter. The villa, bathed in the golden glow, bore witness to her rebirth, a silent testament that even in the depths of chaos, hope could bloom, fragile but fiercely real. As the camera pulled back, the sprawling landscape stretched before her, vast, uncharted, waiting. Alina's silhouette against the dawn was a symbol of resilience, love, and the unbreakable spirit of a woman who dared to reclaim her destiny amid the ruins. The dawn broke softly over the Sicilian coast, casting a delicate glow that shimmered like promise upon the waves. Alina stood at the edge of the cliff, overlooking the endless blue, the soft breeze caressing her auburn hair as if nature itself was whispering words of closure. In her hands, the necklace felt lighter, yet its silent weight carried the depth of her journey, her sacrifices, her victories, her surrender. The sky, painted in gentle pastels of pink and lavender, mirrored her internal transformation. For years, she had fought to escape the shadows of her heritage, her desires tangled with the dark threads woven deep within her lineage. Now, as she gazed into that horizon, there was an undeniable sense of peace, a fragile but firm acceptance that her past had shaped her not to chain her but to empower her. She took a slow, deliberate breath, the salt air filling her lungs with clarity. The rocky edge beneath her feet seemed to steady her, grounding her in the understanding that she could leave behind the storm. Her eyes traced the outline of the villa, its walls battered yet resilient, an enduring relic of lost dreams, silently witnessing her rebirth. The necklace, a delicate chain with a hidden past, shimmered softly in the early light. Elsa felt a gentle pulsy reminder that destiny was neither fully written nor entirely controlled, but navigated with courage and grace. Her fingers brushed against it instinctively, the cool metal a comforting touchstone amidst the vast, open expanse. In that moment of stillness, silence enveloped her, broken only by the distant call of seagulls and the ebbing tide. The storm of chaos and conflict had ebbed away weeks ago, leaving only memories and the gentle whisper of renewal. Shadows had dissolved into the morning air, replaced by the gentle glow of acceptance. Alina turned slowly, her silhouette framed by the rising sun, symbolic of a new dawn, a new beginning. Her heartbeat was steady now, resonating with a quiet strength that had been forged through pain and perseverance. The tears that had once burned her eyes now shimmered with gratitude, a testament to her resilience. A soft smile played upon her lips, a silent acknowledgement of her journey. She finally understood the past was her root, not her chains. Love had led her through fire, and understanding had brought her home. As she took a step back from the cliff, the scene lingering, the camera pulled away slowly, capturing her figure against the vastness of the sea and sky, a symbol of infinite potential. Her silhouette faded into the horizon, a quiet echo of hope, a promise that even in silence, new stories awaited, waiting to be written with courage and grace. The horizon unfurled before her, bathed in the soft glow of dusk, an expansive canvas painted with shades of hope and reconciliation. Elena stood at the edge of the gentle sea, the delicate necklace resting against her collarbone, catching the last light as if it held fragments of dawn yet to come. The shadows that once haunted her had begun to dissolve into the mist, replaced by a serenity that seeped into her bones. Her eyes, luminous and unfaltering, traced the silhouette of the villa in the distant seat's battered form, now a testament not to despair but to resilience. Every scar on its walls, every crumbling stone, told a story of pain endured and strength reborn. The air was thick with the scent of salt and renewal, whispering promises of redemption. In her hand, the necklace gleamed gently, a fragile crown of her newfound sovereignty. Her fingers caressed its smooth surface, feeling the delicate pulse that echoed her own heart, steady, humble, and free. She shifted her gaze upward, the evening sky alive with a constellation of colors, an unspoken hymn of acceptance and hope. The silence stretched, poignant and sacred. The world around her seemed to breathe alongside her, the gentle lapping of waves punctuating the stillness, the eternal rhythm of ebb and flow, loss and rebirth. Her soul, once battered by betrayal and bloodshed, now danced slowly in the dawn of her awakening. A soft wind lifted her hair, weaving it into the warm breeze, as her eyes closed in a moment of pure grace. Here, at the edge of her journey, she understood her past would always whisper, but it would no longer chain her. The necklace, the villa, the shadows, they all faded into a tapestry of lessons, love, and unbreakable spirit. She took a deep breath, the cool air filling her lungs with a quiet strength. With gentle resolve, Elena turned toward the horizon, each step a testament to the woman she had become, one who had faced darkness and emerged into light. The camera lingered on her figure, a silhouette against the vibrant tapestry of dusk, symbolizing hope's gentle dawn piercing through the remnants of night. The scene faded softly into the vastness before her, a silent promise that no matter how tumultuous the road, serenity was within reach, woven into the very fabric of her reborn soul. The horizon stretched infinitely, bathed in the muted glow of twilight, its gentle hues of amber and violet blending into the calm sea beyond. Elena stood on the edge of a rugged cliff, the wind sweeping her auburn hair back, revealing the serenity in her eyes. The necklace, once a symbol of chaos, now rested quietly against her collarbone, its delicate chain catching the last light of day, reflecting 1,000 soft glimmers like tiny stars within her soul. Behind her, the crumbling villa stood silent, a testament to faded dreams and fractured secrets. Its battered walls, weathered by time and tension, now seemed almost sacred, an enduring monument to the resilience she had found within herself. Her fingers traced the fine carvings on the pendant, feeling its cool surface as if rediscovering a long-lost part of her that had been buried deep beneath layers of fear and desire. The air was thick with stillness, broken only by the rhythmic whisper of the tide below and the faint hum of the wind, an eternal lullaby of renewal. The tumult of love, danger, pain, and growth that had marked her path had finally led her here at peace, at last. A gentle breath filled her lungs, the warmth of gratitude and acceptance washing over her like a perfect wave. Her gaze lingered on the tranquil sea, the vastness a mirror of her heart, calm yet infinite, ready and open. Her mind replayed the tumultuous journey, the betrayals, the violence, the moments of despair that rode her like fierce storms. But those memories now dissolved into the background, their edges softened by the understanding that she had shaped her destiny with her own strength. The necklace swung gently in the breeze, a fragile thread tying her to a future solely her own, a symbol of liberation from the shadows and chains of her past. With a quiet, unshakable resolve, Elena turned her face towards the horizon, letting the last light bathe her in warmth. In this moment of profound stillness, She understood the sands of her life had shifted, and the roots she carried had finally found fertile ground. Her past would forever stay with her, but it no longer defined her. The story was hers anew, written in silence, spoken only by the quiet strength of her spirit. The camera pulled back, the view widening to capture her silhouette etched against the glowing duskin image of peace, rebirth, and unbreakable resolve. The scene faded into silence, leaving only the serene breath of the sea and the unspoken promise that the future, however uncertain, belonged to her. Her journey had reached its quiet conclusion, a testament to love's enduring power to transform even the darkest of destinies. What destiny would you accept for love? Share your thoughts below.